Hello everybody and welcome to another pickups video. That's right, I haven't done a pickups video for ages, so I thought now during lockdown was a perfect excuse. I've got plenty of time to do some recording, so I thought I would. Feeling a bit rusty though, I haven't talked to the camera in absolutely ages, or so it feels anyway. But yeah, it has been a while since I've done a pickup video. All these pickups was bought long before lockdown and stuff like that. I've been refusing to pick stuff up during the lockdown. Yeah, speaking of lockdown, I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all finding stuff to keep your minds occupied and stuff like that. And yeah, and I hope you're all sticking to the rules as well, because how the hell we are this far into a pandemic and we are still having to tell people to stay at home is quite fucking ridiculous, really, isn't it? But yeah, yeah, I know the majority of you lot watching, you're the good uns. You're the good uns. You're not those wrong uns that, that are still out there gathering in social groups and stuff like that. But anyway, that aside, yeah, pickups. So, one of these pickups I have had since like the last pickup video that I did. I was meant to show it in that video, but I just kind of forgot, and I found it on the shelf after I turned the camera off, and I was like, oh, I'm not going back to film it. So it just got put onto a pile, and yeah, so you'll see it in this video instead. So I've got a bit of PlayStation for you, a bit of Dreamcast, and the rest is just Super Nintendo. So there you go. There's only 5 games, but like I say, I haven't done a pickups video in ages, and yeah, I want to show these off. So why not? Why not? So yeah, we'll start. Anyway, the first thing I picked up. So this was the one that was meant to be in the last video, and this is for the PlayStation 2, and that is Capcom Fighting Jam. Is that right? Yeah, Capcom Fighting Jam. So yeah, I'll lean it down, try and get the glare off. Oh, there's not that much glare, to be honest. There's normally loads of glare. I've got my lights a bit further back, so maybe I'll do that in future. Anyway, so yeah, look at that artwork. That's lovely artwork, isn't it? So yeah, Capcom Fighting Jam, as you can probably imagine, it's a one-on-one fighting tournament game. Recommended by fellow YouTuber Champion 2D Rob. I do believe it was years ago now, absolutely ages ago. I think I did like a video saying that I was looking for more fighters on the system, and yeah, he just reeled off a load of them. And yeah, this was one of them. So yeah, I have been working through that list like over time, and this is one that I've only just got around to picking up. So yeah, I'm a massive fan of these like crossover games. Capcom, if you play the Capcom Fighter, do you know what I mean? Like one of the Marvel versus Capcom games, X-Men versus Street Fighter, etc, etc. Yeah, you'll know that Capcom kind of lead the way when it comes to 2D fighting games. They always look really nice, really well animated, always nice kind of like dynamic backgrounds, killer soundtracks. Like they've always got like a bit of a rocking soundtrack to the back of them, and this one's no different. But yeah, why this interested me a little bit more is because it's got a game on it that I'd never heard. Like, cause like I say, it's a crossover. So you've got characters from Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter Alpha, Darkstalkers, and then there was another game on it that I'd never even heard of, and it's called Red Earth. Is that right? Yeah, Red Earth. And I was thinking, what's that game? Obviously, I imagined it to be a fighting game, but I thought, I've never heard of that. So I went and looked it up, and I thought, if it is, then obviously it's one that I need to get. But the reason why I've never heard of it is because it was arcade only. Apparently, it never got a home port. So yeah, but some of the characters on there, and they're all like, kind of like big dinosaurs. It's like one character, and it's like a massive kind of like T-Rex character. He's big and he's slow, but obviously he's got like really powerful moves and stuff like that. So yeah, really weird. But yeah, I had a blast on this, and it's good. It's hard. It is hard though. I've had to knock the level like difficulty down a little bit just to get my bearings and learn some moves first, because it's kicking my arse. I mean, obviously I gravitated straight towards Ryu because obviously I already know his moves and stuff like that. So, but even so, it's still kind of kicking my arse a bit. So, plenty more practice. But yeah, it's good in the fact that it crosses over the characters from all those games, but it also mixes up the fighting styles as well. So like you've got the normal kind of fighting from Street Fighter Alpha, and then from Street Fighter 3 you've got the parrying system, and then is it Darkstalkers where it's got like the chain combinations, like it's got its own unique thing. So like depending which character you pick from which franchise, they've got like different fighting styles in that kind of sense as well, and not just their own fighting style, if that makes sense. I hope it's making sense. Anyway, Capcom's Fighting Jam. So onto the Dreamcast. Yeah, this one is one that I picked up ages ago as well, and the price on this as well, I don't know if you'd class it a high or I class it as a mid-range game. It's around about the 35 to about 45. Can go a lot higher though. You can get it probably about 50. You might be able to get like a battered copy for cheaper than that. But yeah, that game is Fighting Vipers 2 on the Dreamcast, obviously. So yeah, another game that I've had for ages, but I've been waiting to play this, and like again, I've not had the time until now. So yeah, I've actually had time to play on it now, and yeah, it's another one-on-one beat 'em up fighter tournament kind of game, sequel to the Fighting Vipers on the Sega Saturn. Was that exclusive? I'm not sure if Fighting Vipers was a Sega Saturn exclusive or not, but it's kind of the Saturn's answer to Tekken, I would say. So yeah, obviously you didn't get Tekken on the Sega Saturn, but this is, yeah, it's just like the Sega Saturn's version of Tekken. That's the only way I can describe it really. 3D fighting game, nice characters, again nice kind of backgrounds, but because this is the sequel on the Dreamcast, obviously the character models look more rounded, it's a bit more fluid and stuff like that. Just looks a bit more nicer and polished as you would expect from the Dreamcast. So yeah, Fighting Vipers 2. Not a lot more to say about that. Just look it up if you want to, look them up. Do you know what I mean? If you want a little bit more on it. So yeah, the rest are Super Nintendo now. So when it comes to Super Nintendo, I've set myself one more shelf because I've already filled one shelf up, and they are mostly, well, they do include about 90% of the games that I actually had as a kid. And then the top shelf are games that I've kind of like really been interested in, or games that I borrowed and played a lot in the day but might not have necessarily owned. But yeah, I thought, I picked up another shelf from IKEA ages ago, just after Christmas, or it might have been just before Christmas. And I thought, if that fits like perfectly in the space and I can get like 2 levels of Super Nintendo games on it, then that's what I'll use it for, and it worked out fine. My measurements was correct, so now I've got 2 shelves, so I've got one more shelf to fill, and then that's it. So yeah, I'm being a bit picky about what I buy, but yeah, a couple of these are games that I didn't own, but I'll talk about why I picked them up anyway. So yeah, the first one is Yoshis Safari. Yoshi? Which way are you inclined? How do you say it? I say Yoshi. I've always said Yoshi, so. Yoshi's Island. So, yeah, if you don't know, you can't see it, but up there, I do have the Super Nintendo Super Scope. And, yeah, because I had that as a kid, like as a youngster. I acquired one as a youngster. It weren't bought for me, it was kind of given to me. Kind of borrowed, but never given back in a way. So yeah, I had the Super Scope and I loved it, but it is one of those kind of like gimmicky things. They didn't release a lot of games for it. Put it this way, I think there's only like 12 or 11 games on the Super Nintendo that utilise the Super Scope, and 6 of them come on the same cart that you actually get, this Super Scope. Is it the Super 6? What's it called? Oh, let me just look. Yeah, the Super Scope 6. So you get like Blastrix and stuff like that, and Mole Patrol and stuff like that on it. So yeah, half of the games that you can get on it, you get with the Super Scope. So I was just kind of intrigued really as to what other games was available that utilised this scope. And yeah, I was just looking through the library, and there's, like I said, there's not a lot available. And I think one of those games as well that weren't even available in the UK territories. I think it was like an American exclusive or something like that. So yeah, that's another one that you can't get over here. So it's even smaller library. But one that took my interest was Yoshis Safari. Now I've heard of this game before, but obviously I've never played it. When I had my Super Scope back in the day, that's all I had for it, was the one cart that came with it. So I just kind of picked it up out of intrigue really, because I have a spit. So it's a bit of an arse setting it all up, because like my Super Nintendo is like, it's all integrated into the setup, so it's all wide and stuff like that. So I didn't want to like undo it and then set it up, because I've got like a little portable that in the corner that I bought specifically for light gun games and stuff like that, because I'm not sure if they work on the B&Os. Anybody that's got a B&O, is it, I think I've got the MX 9000, is that right? 9000? I don't know. The big B&O is the one I've got. But yeah, I don't think light gun games work on it, so that's why I bought the other one in the corner, the small portable, because I know they definitely work on that. So yeah, I set up the backup SNES to the portable and set the scope. The scope as well takes 6 AA batteries. I forgot how many batteries those things take. So yeah, I had to like rummage around. Luckily enough, I did have a pack with a few in, but I had to nick one out of the thermostat for the central heating on the wall. Like, it takes a couple of AA's, so I just took them out of there. But yeah, I got it up and running, and you know what, it's a fairly decent game. You'd think, oh, it's just made for kids and stuff like that, but I tell you what, this is quite a difficult game. Like, obviously it starts off alright, but then obviously as you go on it gets harder and harder and stuff like that. And yeah, so you play from like first person's perspective. You're Mario on Yoshi's back, and you're like the one firing at all the enemies. And yeah, it's like an on rails kind of shooter. If you play it 2-player, then one of you can control Yoshi, and then obviously the other one will shoot the enemies and stuff like that. So yeah, you can play it in 2-player if you want. Suppose it's fun. I've never played it in 2-player because this is the only time that I have played it. But yeah, I had quite a lot of fun with this, and yeah, that's all I can say really. Again, look it up if you want to like get your own like little taste of it and see if it would be interesting to you. Like I say, I don't know if you've got a Super Scope or something like that, you might be a little bit like me and not know what other games actually utilise the scope. So this is one of them, Yoshis Safari. Yeah, and sticking with Yoshi, the next game I picked up was Yoshi's Island. So Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island is the full title of it. So yeah, again, this is another game that I have never played until now. And the reason why I picked it up is because it's the sequel to Super Mario World. And I was thinking, I've been aware of this, I've known of this for many years, but I can never remember it back in the day, if you know what I mean. This is one of those that I discovered probably like in the early 2000s, probably around 2008, 2009 when I started collecting again, and I was looking at Super Nintendo library, and I thought, oh yeah, Yoshi's Island. But I never realised that it was the sequel to Super Mario World. And yeah, so I could never remember seeing it, because if I'd have saw it, I think it was a game that I probably would have bought or asked for, you know what I mean, with it being a sequel to Super Mario World, which is one of my favourite games on the system. But yeah, not a lot of people seem to talk about this for some reason. But yeah, I don't know why. Did people not rate it as high as... I mean, I could see why they wouldn't rate it as high as Super Mario World, but I think it's a decent sequel. Is it because you don't actually play as Mario, you play as a Yoshi, don't you? And you get Baby Mario, you know, with the classic, when you get hit, Baby Mario starts crying and stuff like that. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why you kind of learn to get good at this game, because the crying of Baby Mario will get on your tits after a while. But yeah, I think this is a good game in its own right. I think this is a brilliant platformer. It looks really, really nice as well. I like that art style, because like a lot of the backgrounds kind of look hand-drawn, like they've been drawn in crayon or something like that. It looks really nice, or kind of like water paints or something like that. Yeah, it's really nice to look at, and the gameplay is kind of, the controls are tight and stuff like that, and yeah, it's just a different take on Mario. If you like Super Mario World, I don't understand why you wouldn't like this, and I also don't understand why people don't seem to pick it up and talk about it a lot, because I think it deserves some love. So yeah, if you've not played it, pick it up. Great platformer. Yoshi's Island, like I say, Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. It's the sequel. Pick it up. So yeah, the last game is a classic. This one I did have as a kid, and that is Superpang. Look at that artwork. I was going to say that's crap artwork, but then again, considering what game it is, like how the gameplay is, it's like, how else would you really illustrate what goes on in the game? I mean, you've got the kids, you've got them shooting their guns at the balloon, even though you don't really shoot guns at the bubbles. Are they supposed to be balloons or bubbles? Oh yeah, it says bubble on the back, so there you go, bubbles. Because like in the game, what you shoot is, it's more like, it's like a rope with a arrow on the end, isn't it? It's more like a grappling gun that you shoot at him. So yeah, the aim of the game, it's kind of like a puzzly game. Bubbles fall from the sky, you, like I say, you shoot your gun at it, your arrow thing it. You're supposed to pop the balloons separate into smaller balloons. I keep calling them balloons, bubbles, separate into smaller bubbles, and yeah, you've got to try not get to hit. Dodge, shoot, dodge, shoot, dodge, shoot, until you've cleared the stage of all the bubbles, and then you move on to the next one. One of those games that's highly addictive, and one of those that, again, that starts off kind of easy and, yeah, will ramp up. It's hard. No, I've never completed this game. I don't even think I got that far into it, but yeah, I'm not that far into it again as well, but like I say, it's an addictive game, and it's one of those it's one of those classics. It's been on many systems, hasn't it? So yeah, this is the only version I've ever played of it though, is Superpang on the Super Nintendo, so yeah, there you go. That's that one. And yeah, that's it. That's all I've got to show you. Like I say, did I say it? Did I even mention the PlayStation game? I don't think I did mention it, did I? Oh, I can't remember. My memory is fizzling out. I don't even know what day we're on. It's like, I think we're on Monday. It's Easter Monday. That's another thing. I didn't even realise that. Like, I've seen people on Facebook and everything buying Easter eggs, but I didn't even realise that this weekend actually was Easter weekend. I thought like it was just people buying them in ready for Easter weekend. I didn't realise it already was Easter weekend. So yeah, there you go. That's how my memories is at the minute. So yeah, but if I didn't mention it, I'll mention it now. I do have some PlayStation pickups as well that I picked up a long time ago, which I've been meaning to do a video on. So yeah, for those of you that's been following me pickups on the PlayStation, then there is another video in store pretty soon. Hopefully I can get it filmed. Might film it after I've done this one actually. And yeah, that's it folks. I'll see you in next video. Tatty bye.